All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to try and get to the heart of Argentina. We're going to look past the usual cliches to really unpack the rich, complex, and super passionate culture that makes this country so unique. So, when I say Argentina, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's probably tango, incredible steak, and of course, football legends like Messi and Maradona, right? And yeah, you're not wrong, but that's really just scratching the surface. The real cultural DNA of Argentina, well, it's this fascinating mix of European nostalgia and a pure, beating Latin American heart.
To really get what makes Argentina tick, we've got to go back in time to the turn of the 20th century, because the country we know today was basically forged in this massive fire of European immigration that completely reshaped its identity from the ground up.
This whole era was known as La Gran Inmigración, the Great Immigration. And we're talking about a solid 60-year period where millions of people, all looking for a better life, sailed across the Atlantic. They landed in Argentina, and they brought everything with them: their languages, their food, their traditions, and their passions. And just to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this, get this, over 3 million Italians made Argentina their new home. That's a staggering number. This huge wave of people, along with others from Spain, Germany, and all over Europe, set off this incredible cultural explosion, especially in cities like Buenos Aires. You know, when you mix all these people together, you get a linguistic soup. And one of the most amazing things that came out of it was lunfardo. It's this unique slang that was born in the working-class neighborhoods, and it's absolutely packed with words inspired by Italian. It became the gritty, poetic language of the tango. And it didn't stop there. There was also something called cocoliche. You can think of this as the in-between language. It was this mashup of Spanish and various Italian dialects that the immigrants spoke as they were trying to adapt. And it's left its mark. The reason modern Argentines say laborar, for to work, comes directly from the Italian lavorare. Pretty cool, right? But this passion they brought, it wasn't just about language. It completely seeped into the social fabric. These European immigrants brought with them a culture of intense debate, especially about politics. In Argentina, politics is never off the table. It's debated everywhere, with everyone, and with a whole lot of passion.
Okay, so we've got this huge European influence, right? But that's only half the story. To get the full picture, we have to look at the culture that was already there. A powerful tradition rooted in the vast plains of the country, the Criollo tradition, which is perfectly embodied by the gaucho. Now, you might be tempted to think of the gaucho as just the Argentine version of the American cowboy. And yeah, there are similarities, but they are so much more. These legendary horsemen are a huge national symbol. They represent freedom, toughness, and this incredibly deep connection to the land. And the home of the gaucho is the Pampa. The name itself actually comes from the indigenous Quechua language, and it just means plain. This endless, fertile grassland isn't just a place, it's the spiritual heart of the whole gaucho tradition. And you absolutely cannot talk about gaucho culture without talking about mate. It is central to Argentine life. Making it is a whole ritual. You heat the water, key point, don't let it boil. You prep the yerba herb in this little gourd, you stick in the metal straw, the bombilla, and then the ceremony begins. But here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. Mate is so much more than a drink. It's a profound social ritual. The gourd gets passed around, and everyone in the group shares from the same bombilla. It's this incredibly powerful symbol of community and friendship. It's all about taking a moment to talk, to connect, to just be together. So you take that fiery, argumentative spirit from the European immigrants, and you blend it with the proud, independent soul of the gaucho. What do you get? You get a nation that is absolutely defined by its intense, all-consuming passions. Just look at the two arenas that get the blood pumping in Argentina more than anything else: football and politics. Seriously, they're both treated with the same life-or-death intensity. A soccer game is this huge family affair, and a political debate can erupt anywhere, at any time, fueled by that exact same raw, unfiltered passion. And then, of course, you have the ultimate artistic expression of this entire cultural mix: tango. It was born in the immigrant port neighborhoods of Buenos Aires, and it really is the definition of the Argentine personality. It's soulful, it's a little sad, and it is intensely passionate. It's a dance that tells the story of a nation. The heart and soul of tango sound, it comes from this instrument called the bandoneon, which is a type of accordion that actually came over with German immigrants.
People dance tango in traditional dance halls called milongas, and it was made famous around the world by the absolute legend Carlos Gardel. It's all about that close embrace and those dramatic, sudden moves. Okay, so that's the big picture stuff, right? The history, the huge national passions. But how does all of that actually translate into everyday life? Let's zoom in a bit and look at the daily rituals that really show you what Argentine culture is all about. First thing you'll notice if you ever visit, the greeting. Get ready for a kiss on the cheek from everyone. It doesn't matter if they're men, women, your best friend, or a total stranger you're meeting for the first time. It's this gesture of warmth and openness that can definitely catch you off guard if you're not used to it.
And yeah, the culture shock is totally real. There's this great quote from Matador Network that just nails it. I've seen the toughest cowboy from the far west turn red at the kiss on the cheek that an Argentina woman naturally gave him just to say, hello, how are you? That pretty much sums it up.
Then there's this other amazing custom, something we don't really have a word for in English, the sobremesa. It literally means over the table, and it's the art of just lingering and talking for hours after a meal is finished. Nobody's rushing off. The conversation itself about everything and anything is the main event.
And even the rhythm of a typical day feels different. Breakfasts are often sweet, coffee with pastries called media lunas. In a lot of the country, the afternoon siesta is still a sacred tradition. And dinners happen late, like really late. It's totally normal to start eating at 9 or 10 p.m. And through it all, there's just this constant willingness to chat, to talk to anyone, anywhere.
So when you put it all together, what do you get? Well, I think it's a culture of beautiful, fascinating contradictions. You've got this deep sense of European heritage and nostalgia, but it's all expressed with this fiery, passionate, unapologetically Latin American heart. So let's just recap the core building blocks of this unique cultural DNA. You've got the European heritage from that great immigration. You've got the Criollo soul from the gaucho. You have this capacity for unfiltered, raw passion in everything. And woven through it all is this beautiful art of sharing, whether it's a mate, a meal, or just a long conversation.
And that's a wrap. So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. From the long, unhurried conversations of the sobremesa to the simple, shared ritual of mate, which of these Argentine customs would you most want to adopt into your own life? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.